Here's a bold statement to kick things off. Jerry Reinsdorf can now proudly claim he has a Hall of Fame-level head coach on his roster. Billy Donovan has officially earned a spot in the basketball pantheon and will retire as a Chicago Bull. But here's where it gets controversial. What does this mean for the future of the Bulls and their approach under Donovan's leadership? First, let me say I'm genuinely thrilled for Billy Donovan. Growing up in the Chicagoland area, I oddly became a big fan of the Florida Gators, mainly due to the Tebow mania craze that swept college football. That fandom naturally led me to support the Gators basketball program, where Donovan was the cornerstone. I always admired his humility and steady leadership, so when he moved to the NBA in the mid-2010s, I was confident he'd translate those qualities effectively at the professional level. Even more impressive was his speech. It was pure Donovan, selfless, focused entirely on others rather than himself, the kind of grace and humility that's rare on the big stage. Several Bulls players were present to celebrate Donovan's milestone. Among them was Coby White, who has spent more time under Donovan's coaching than anyone else on the team. White opened up to K.C. Johnson about what sets Donovan apart as a coach. White emphasized Donovan's honesty and relentless drive to push players to their potential. He explained how Donovan's straightforward communication and genuine belief in his players help forge strong bonds, something White argues is often missing in today's NBA environment. This ability to build meaningful relationships with players has been a hallmark of Donovan's career and remains remarkably effective deep into his NBA tenure. In an era when so many players switch teams or feel disconnected from their coaches, Donovan's approach stands out. Alongside White, other Bulls such as Ayo Dosunmu, Patrick Williams, Dalen Terry, and Modest Buzelis joined the celebration, all sharply dressed and representing the team's fresh, talented core. But the real test for Donovan's coaching prowess is coming up fast. The Bulls are facing one of the most challenging season openers in the Eastern Conference. Their schedule kicks off against Detroit and Orlando, two of the East's most promising young teams, followed by a showdown with Atlanta's revamped squad at the United Center. Then comes the much-anticipated game against Zach LaVine's former team, a showdown that's loaded with narrative. And to top it off, there are back-to-back clashes with the New York Knicks, not to mention tough matchups against playoff contenders like the 76ers, Bucks, and Cavaliers shortly afterward. It wouldn't be surprising to see the Bulls struggle mightily early on, perhaps opening the season with a 1-5 or even 1-8 record. This brutal stretch will reveal a lot about whether the young and fun energy many fans have sensed recently is truly sustainable or just a fleeting vibe. Personally, I'm keeping a close eye on Josh Giddey during this early stretch. The tension around his contract talks could weigh on him, and it's unclear if he can maintain the scoring burst we saw from him late last season in March and April. Will he sustain offensive consistency? Can he handle the physical demands of the NBA at a high level? And will his free throw success remain strong? If the Bulls are going to invest heavily in Giddey's future, these questions demand answers sooner rather than later. Meanwhile, EuroBasket 2025 has been nothing short of chaotic. Some might even say maddening. Both France and Serbia, powerhouses with high expectations, were unceremoniously knocked out early in the knockout rounds. In a shocker, Nikola Jokic Serbia fell to Finland, where Lauri Markkanen put on a stunning performance with 29 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. Equally surprising was France's loss to Georgia, sending Georgia to the EuroBasket quarterfinals for the very first time in their history. Who saw that coming? This kind of madness is exactly what makes international basketball so thrilling. On a lighter note, there's still time to enter 4for4 Survivor Pool before Sunday Night Football kicks off. If you join, you could win a free copy of Madden 26, and if you come out on top, you'll pocket a cool $500,000. Not a bad incentive to get in on the action. Shifting sports, the Chicago Cubs are grappling with another injury to one of their outfielders, which is far from ideal so late in the season. Injuries have a way of reshaping team dynamics and playoff hopes, so this development is certainly a blow. And finally, some great news for hockey fans. The the Chicago Blackhawks have announced the first 2 inductees into their own Hall of Fame, a milestone worth celebrating for one of the city's beloved teams. So, here's a question to you. Do you believe Billy Donovan's leadership and the Bulls' youthful energy will be enough to overcome this grueling early schedule? Or is a shaky start inevitable? Also, what's your take on the surprising twists in EuroBasket? Drop your thoughts below and let's get the debate going. About the author, Elias Schuster is Bleacher Nation's lead writer focusing on the Chicago Bulls. A University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign journalism graduate, Elias joined BN full-time in 2019, right in the thick of the Jim Boylan era. Since then, he's been a key voice in Bulls and NBA coverage, sharing insight and breaking news across the website and social media. Follow Elias on Twitter, @Schuster_Elias, for the latest Bulls updates and basketball analysis.